And then once I connect all of these things to it, it should input all of its stuff out into here. Yay! Wow, I need to turn my mouse sensitivity up on this thing. It is horrendous. There is a villager over there, and he's kinda interrupting my placements. What are you doing here? Are you an intruder in my home? Oh, how dare you! You must die! Die, you fool! How dare you intrude on my home? Oh, goodness, your animals are spitting on me. How dare... Oh, they broke my painting! What? Oh, no! They broke it again! Stop breaking my painting! Ah!
Run. Get the idea.
Alrighty, there we go. I got my painting back. Does it still put me in the same place when I go back? Okay, it is still in the same placement. Good. Nope. Nobody, nope. Anyways, as I was trying to do before, I've been a little bit busy in between episodes. So after last episode, I ended up making another seed. A very special seed, actually. We have made ourselves a draconium crop, and some of you may have been around for a previous episode. If you weren't, I'll tell you right now, I found myself inside of a barrel once, 3 pieces of draconium. And then in another episode, when I was sifting through some endstone in order to be able to get my ender lily, which I have over here, I also got a piece of draconium dust, which if we go over into the draconic evolution tab, which is the mod that these are from, if you smelt down draconium, it can then make the draconium ingots. And if you crush draconium ingots, you can make the draconium dust. But what's even more important about the ingots is that you can actually make yourselves draconium seeds at the cost of supremium. So, you know, it took me a little while to be able to get it, but I was able to. And now we have literally one of the strongest metals in the game. Now, unfortunately, I can't really use this for much as of yet because it's going to basically be a lot more important for a later on time, because it's basically more meant for you to be able to use it after the end. And we're not at the end yet, but, you know, it's still fine. I mean the end dimension, not like the end of the mod pack. And incidentally, that actually gave me a random reward. And that random reward that we got was a much more powerful jetpack. I now have a tier 4 one, which means that the current one that I currently have, it is obsolete. Look at this, tier 1 only using 80,000. We don't need that. We need ourselves 20 freaking million. Look at me. Oh my gosh, I'm so much faster. Oh my gosh. Look at me. I'm flying. Holy crap. It probably uses so much power actually though. Oh my gosh, okay, well then let's turn on the hover capability, so that way we can just sort of glide down. Oh gosh, it takes me forever to get down there. Oh! It's actually hovering now where I have to manage it on my own. Dude, that's sick. I love this. Okay, well I'm gonna leave this thing to charge just all the way, so that way we can actually have it for proper use later on, and then we can just have this as a backup jetpack. But all that aside though, we now have something very special to get to in today's video, because we have something that we need to do that I haven't quite done yet, and that is to automate this stuff right here called plastic, because it's going to be pretty important for some things going forward, and all these things are going to be like very useful, especially like laser drills and stuff like that, and also for like the singularities, which is something I'm a little bit scared about, but we'll see what happens. Now, in order to be able to actually get this plastic, it goes through a whole process of events and stuff like that, but I already know how I'm going to actually be able to do that. And in order to do it, we're going to need some machines. The first thing we're going to need is this thing right here called the fluid extractor. And I'm only going to need a few of these ingredients left. I went into the wrong thing. And all these things are really simple to get. You know what those two things are, it's just those things. But this pity machine frame, it actually isn't that expensive. I'm just going to need to get a few more logs, and then I'm also going to need some cast iron. But yeah, that should be fun. And I am going to need 3 of these, because each one of these machines is going to take one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab enough of those, and then I'll be right back.
5 minutes later.
Alrighty, here we go. I should have everything, so now I can make those 3 things. Right, there we go. And then with that, I now have the fluid extractor. I just realized, though, I'm going to need 3 of these fluid extractors, and I only made enough for all of these. So, you know what, that's fine. I can just go ahead and make more of those things off screen, so then we're just going to need to make the rest of these. Alright, so now that we've got these things, we can go ahead and put this over here with all of the techie stuff. I'm going to put a formation that's somewhat like this. That's unfortunate. I thought it was going to be facing me, so then in that case, we're going to need to put this like that. There we go. And we're going to want all of these going towards it like so. There we go. So now they're all working. I don't remember if power is optional. It should be optional. Okay, so I don't have to power this, but if I do power it, it'll make things much more efficient. So then after that, we are going to need to make a few more logs, but that should be fine. Actually, you know what? I was going to do this anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and make myself the wood seeds. And the reason why I'm doing this is to be more efficient with the automation for when I'm doing this. And you'll all see what I mean soon enough. But there we go. We got ourselves the wood seeds. So I figure I might as well make those right now. And then I can go ahead and use the spare logs, put this right here. And now I should be able to determine. It is indeed absorbing it. That is really good, actually. Okay, so since all of these are absorbing it, they are now going to be taking out the fluids from inside of these logs. It can be any type of log, so if any of you want to do this and you want to use a different tree, you're free to. And the fluid we're getting is latex. The reason why we need latex is because we are going to then use that and turn it into this tiny dry rubber inside this latex processing unit. However, one of the ingredients is a latex bucket, so we're going to need to wait for us to get a full bucket of this stuff. And seeing as how they're all in separate containers, we want them all to be inside of the same one, which means I need redstone, which means that we're going to need to make a tank, as I was trying to say earlier, so that way we can fuse them all together. And then I'm just going to need some pipes. Do I have any more fluid pipes? I don't, but I do have these universal pipes, so I can go ahead and use these and then make some fluid pipes later. So just go ahead and then put all of those right there together, and then I can go ahead and then stick that right there. And then once I connect all of these things to it, it should input all of its stuff out into here. Yay! And like I said, once I actually do put power into these things, it should all be way faster. Not by much, because like, you know, I would need to like upgrade it for it to be like super fast. But for right now, though, this should be good. So now I just need to wait for this thing to get up to 1,000 millibuckets, because that's a whole bucket. Luckily for me, I have the power of time in my hands.
2 very boring minutes later.
Alrighty, we actually have a lot more than I needed because I was off doing something else, so that way I could prepare for things. But now that we have this, we can go ahead and grab these 2 buckets right here, and then combine it all together to make ourselves the latex processing unit. Oh my goodness, it's glorious. And I think this one may actually need power. I'm not certain if it will, but we will see it once we are ready for it. So we can go ahead and then put this thing right here, and then I'm going to need to go ahead and then drag this stuff out of here. So I'm going to need some more pipes. I was also in need of an aqueous accumulator, so that way I can go ahead and then throw water in this as well, because it does need both water and latex to be able to convert its crap. So then let's go ahead and then put that there. Where is my wrench? There it is. And then the water should go into there, and then we're going to want to set up this fluid pipe up here. Since these are 2 different pipes, they won't connect, so that's kind of nice actually. And then we can go ahead and connect this one right here, and then it should start making the latex once we do get this thing power. Okay, so I'm gonna need to go ahead and make another flux point, which is pretty simple. It's just gonna take a little bit, so let me do that. Alrighty, we got our flux points, so we can go ahead and put that there, and it'll actually power all 3 of these ones right here. But this one over here, it's feeling a little bit left out, you know? So we're just gonna want to take ourselves a little pipe that leads all the way over to here, and we can go ahead and just disconnect these connections because it doesn't really need to be there. And we put that one there, and there we go. Now it has all of them, and we can set this one to something simple. So now, all of these things are powered, which means they're going to be working a little bit faster. So they're going to be taking all this stuff out faster. And then this thing is now also going to be working, making ourselves the teeny tiny dry rubber. Then once we get 9 of these, we can go ahead and make the dry rubber and then smelt that down for plastic. And then once we get 4 plastic, we can then also go ahead and make a block placer, which we can then put on this side to be able to place the logs. So then we'll have an infinite amount of the logs being placed. Now, even with these things being at their maximum, it does take quite a bit to be able to get through 1 log, and it does still make a good bit of it. So this is definitely going to be very conservative. It's not going to use up a lot of stuff, and it's still going to be very, very good. And we actually already have 1 plastic being used now. So how much does it take? Okay, it takes 100 to be able to make 1 tiny dry rubber. That's pretty good. Alrighty, we now have enough of the tiny dry rubber, so now we have 4 of this dry rubber. And then we can go ahead and then throw that into here, and that's a little too loud. I don't want to have to keep dealing with that, so let's just go ahead and speed that up. And did that? Oh, I thought it went all the way up. Okay, for some reason I thought the full dry rubber was the one I was looking for, but it wasn't. Either way, though, now that we have the plastic, we can go ahead and then make ourselves this block placer, and then that should also be facing in the correct direction. Yes, it is. So then we can go ahead and put that into there. I don't know if power is optional or if it's not. Yeah, it's only on that one where it says power is optional. So then this one probably does need power as well. So now once this log is fully eaten up and it goes away, the next one will then be put into there. So that's all well and good, but what about once we actually end up running out of logs? Well, I have a plan for this. This is the reason why I made the wood seeds. So here is my plan. We're gonna need to take this hopper botany pot as well as this farmland, which I actually had left over, so I finally have a use for it. And then we're also just gonna need one of these 2x2 drawers. Then after that, we're going to want to make ourselves 2 of these things, because with all of this power combined, we're going to want to create something very, very special. I should have everything. I don't have everything. I need myself 2 of these. Okay, that's fine, because with all of these things combined, we make ourselves a crafter. Now, what this crafter does is it allows us to auto-craft things. So let's go ahead and then put ourselves the drawer right there. And the reason I'm using the 4x4 one is because these saplings actually drop multiple things, and we only really want one thing that we're using. So let's go ahead and then go that into there, and then get this thing growing, and it shouldn't take very long. And the reason why I'm using this to be able to get myself the wood essence, that way I can go ahead and make logs rather than just straight growing logs, is because the logs only have a 50% chance of dropping here, versus these essences, which have a higher chance of dropping, a 75% chance. And I'm pretty sure it grows quicker. Yeah, it grows quicker. It takes a sapling to 2 minutes to grow versus this one, which can take 1 or less. And then after that, I'll just need to set up an auto-crafting recipe in here to be able to make this work. It's really easy, and I think I might need a pipe. I'm not certain. Alrighty, so now that we've got ourselves these 3 wood essences right here, we can go ahead and then set up a recipe. So if we put this into there, that should give us a recipe, and then I think I need to click apply. So there we go. Now we have ourselves that recipe. Maybe I should... Actually, I don't think I can get rid of this anymore. Dang it. Well, then, that's a problem. Oh, wait, it needs power for it to be able to work. Good, because I want this to remember the current items, so that way that'll always have a place here. So it'll only put these things in as long as I fill up all of these slots with it. So whenever I set up a pipe, I'm not going to need to put a filter on this thing, because I don't want to do that. Even though, realistically speaking, this is probably going to take me longer than it would to just set all of that up. But, you know, it's fine. Doing more work to be lazy, even though you're end up doing more work than you wanted to, so that way you can be lazy, is the way I do things. Either way, though, there we go. So now I can go ahead and set up an energy pipe that goes into this one, so it should convert all that into this oak log right here. There we go. So then after that, we're just going to need to go ahead and then grab ourselves some pipes, 2 item pipes to be exact, or it may need to be a third. Actually, I may need all of them. Either way, we're going to want to put 1 here and then 1 here, so that way it can go inwards. So that we're going to put that there. And yes, the stuff is going in, and then we're going to want to put another item pipe on the top, so that way it can then go outwards. We do not want that here, and we can go ahead and then set that right there, and then the logs begin to go in. There we go. So whenever they're crafted, they'll then go instantly into here, so then whenever this thing is ready and done, it'll all be good. Now, the best part is that once this thing is full, it'll stop crafting, and then these things will then continue to slowly fill up to be complete stacks. And once those things are full, they'll then go back into this thing. So even if it backs up, well, when it inevitably backs up, it'll still all be okay, and I'm not gonna be, like, breaking anything. So, yeah, it should be good all the well nonetheless, and we're still gonna be making ourselves the tiny dry rubber. Realistically speaking, I could set up another crafter over here to be able to combine all of that instantly, but I don't want to do that at this current stage because it's not going quick enough to where it'd be a problem. In fact, I'm gonna disconnect this one just that way we can actually build up some latex for whenever I'm actually gonna need it. There we go, though. So now that we've gotten all of that done, there's one other thing that I wanted to make, and that's this thing right here called the sea moth. Now, in order to make it, I'm going to need to get this thing called a power cell, which will take 2 titanium, and I'm going to need 2 more copper ingots, which sucks, but I have all those things that I'm going to need. And I'm also going to need 2 titanium blocks, as well as 1 block of lead. So I'm just going to need to go over and smelt some things, and then I'll be right back in a second. Alrighty, here we go. I should have everything now, so we just need to go ahead and then make ourselves this power cell. And I think I will need to power this. Let's go ahead and take this thing out, and then... yeah, it will need to be powered. I'm just not sure how much it's going to take or if it needs it when it's made. So, oh, it needs to be 100% charged for me to craft it. Oh, okay. Well, then I am going to just need to leave this in here. Okay, crap.
Much later.
All right, so two things. One, I found out why this thing was actually taking so long. It was because of the pipe. It wasn't transferring very fast, so I put in an improved pipe upgrade. And two, we can now go ahead and craft ourselves our sea moth. Yay! There we go. So this thing basically works kind of like a submarine, so it should now work. Yes, look at this. Oh gosh, it's very slow on its thing. That's strange. Oh. Very weird, actually. Okay, but yeah, this should basically work pretty much just like a submarine. So I don't know how well it's going to work, but oh my goodness, look at it. Oh my gosh, it's great. So then, oh, that's why I needed a power cell. So I can change this out every so often. Okay, wow, I need to turn my mouse sensitivity up on this thing. It is horrendous. Holy crap, but yeah, now this should work. Hopefully it doesn't sink when I get out of it. Are you gonna sink or are you gonna stay put? Looks like it's staying put. Very good, actually. I don't know if this thing takes the power while it's inactive. So I'm gonna take the power cell out with me. And I need to turn my mouse sensitivity down. And yeah, we can go ahead and have that for whenever I'm going to go in there. We can go ahead and have a chest right here to be able to hold the power cell for whenever we need it. So when I actually decide to go exploring with this thing, we can. I'm not going to do so today because we don't really have time, but I think maybe next episode we can go ahead and then do that. So it'll be a good thing for the start of next episode if I don't have a better plan. So then I guess let's just go ahead and collect everything. Ooh, I got a mob imprisonment tool. Oh, that's good. And material stonework factory. Don't know what that does. An iron helmet with probe? The heck does that do? It just has a camera on it. What does that do? I don't know, but it does. Actually, it doesn't make my fez look much weird. Neat. Yeah, in case you didn't notice, I have a fez now. Yay, because fezzes are cool. And as the sun's setting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my last Oceanblock video. Bye-bye!